Kia ora te whānau, welcome back to Whangaparoa College. Today, we've got an amazing guest with us. So we've got Sue Mackay, our Uber mum, our host, family member, director. We're really stoked to have it. Sue's been with us for so long. So Sue, welcome to our little podcast.
Thank you.
Awesome. You've been the Uber host mum for a long time, but it didn't start there. How did being involved with International start?
Well, I think our daughter was having her last year at college here, and I decided that I wanted to come back to the coast and work rather than holding down a big corporate role in the city. And I wanted to connect more, I guess, with the community and back here, especially with the school, because she was our third child coming through college. And I knew that once she left, then that would cut all my ties off from the college. And I didn't really want that. And I wanted to be able to give back to the college and somehow still be able to do a little bit. So basically I thought, well, I could host international students as well as doing perhaps some other roles here on the coast. And that's how it all started.
Awesome. And you've had, again, before you became the International Students Homestay Director, you took homestays, didn't you? So
yes. Yeah.
What was that just about the same? Was it just about giving back to the community and stuff?
Yes, and that's where it started. Yes, so I came back to the coast to host internationals, so that I could still have or our family could still have a connection with the college, and I suppose having three of our own children go through the college and grow with the college and get so much from it, it was quite exciting to think that we could actually bring some international students into the college environment, and also I could still be a mum to students, because our older two boys had just about left the house at that stage. So I just wanted to still make sure I had lots of people around the dinner table.
Awesome. Do you see that with homestays? Most of the homestay families that we work with here at Whangaparoa College have that same sort of philosophy?
Yes, I think their heart is with the students and wanting to make sure they can show the students this special part of where we live, because New Zealand's a wonderful place, Whangaparoa is a wonderful place, the college is great. Most of our families have been connected to the college in some form or other, whether they've had children go through the college or some have got grandchildren at the college, or usually there's some connection here. So it's, yeah.
What do you reckon is one of the things you really love about being the homestay mum, or people love about being homestay families for the international students?
I think they love, I think, being able to share our culture and our lifestyle with students from overseas, but also they love to learn from those students and welcome their culture into their families. And even today, we've got host families who have hosted for many years and have traveled to the other side of the world to be again with their students and their families. And they've also had the students or alumni students, I guess, and their perhaps mums and dads come to New Zealand and have hosted them privately, where they've holidayed together. So I think it's all about sharing and learning from both sides, from international students' side, and also being able to teach them about where we are.
Awesome. And what do you think what's the biggest challenge for homestay families at the moment? And particularly over the last couple of years in terms of hosting the international students, what's been the challenges?
I think the challenges over the last couple of years during the pandemic have been making sure, I guess, foremost, the students have felt safe here, but we've been able to understand their anxiety and, I guess, the hard times where they haven't been able to go home or be with their own families. And in the beginning, there was a lot of that whilst we had students still here. And I think staff here at the college, families, host families, that was their biggest challenge, which was to make sure that those students still felt cared for and looked after and safe here, because it was really hard when they perhaps couldn't return immediately, didn't know whether to return, and then had to actually leave, I guess, the safe environment of New Zealand and go out there and travel across the world, even to go home was also a big challenge, and to give them support around that.
And what do you reckon, again, if you had an international student and you were talking to them now, what would be the one thing you'd remind them in terms of, helping support and making sure the homestay experience is amazing? What's the one thing that's really important to remind ourselves of?
I think it's the togetherness, and the fact that I think to remind that everybody's human and everybody has the same needs. And when we perhaps host our international students again, we have to understand that cultures can be different, but deep down, we have to understand that there are basic needs that everybody needs, and that we have to recognize that, and make sure the students know that we understand their needs correctly and they feel comfortable sharing those with us, especially coming away across the world now into New Zealand. Travel, everything is going to be different for them, but they have to understand the core of who they are and who we are, and why we like to host them is still the same. And it's all about care, togetherness, sharing cultures, and having an experience they can take home with them forever, really.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sue. We know how lucky these kids are to have you as their Uber mum. We love it. We love the fact and the empathy and the understanding that you show these kids is just phenomenal. I'm not sure how you always do it all the time, because you are amazing at it. We are pretty lucky. These kids are fantastically lucky to have lots of mums and dads that look after them, but especially the Uber mum.
That's very kind.
For sure. So thank you so much. We look forward to catching up with everyone again soon. And hopefully, as you say, that homestay, that connection of getting those new students back into the New Zealand culture and understanding how the way Whangaparaoa College is something we're really keen on soon. So thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Ngā mihi nui. Kia koutou.
Kia ora.
See ya.